What is it, Clarence?
My gut!
Would you describe it as a shooting pain? A throbbing pain? Or maybe an imaginary pain because you don't want to go back to prison?
The man is in excruciating pain, but the doctors think he's just faking it. Then House lifts his blanket and sees that the man has bled out an entire bed. This man's a death row inmate, and 3 days ago he collapsed out of nowhere. But after running some tests, the doctors couldn't find anything wrong. Everyone's starting to wonder, could this guy really be faking it? Just then, the patient wakes up, fighting to breathe, and pulls out his intubation tube, saying he's about to die from thirst. It's a clear sign of dehydration and delirium. House quickly tests his blood, and the results show that the man's pH is way too low, pointing to something called anion gap acidosis. There are lots of things that can cause acidosis, so House tells Chase to go check the prison to see if the man's been exposed to any dangerous pathogens. But just then, the man's heart rate starts dropping fast. House has to inject him with atropine to buy some time, hoping Chase finds something soon. But Chase's report isn't helpful. He found nothing except a bunch of useless rubber boxes. That's when House has a breakthrough. He heads to the man's room, closes the blinds, and takes out 2 glasses.
You're dying. Man deserves a last drink.
After taking a few sips, House asks the man, if you're already on death row, why try to kill yourself? The man replies, I just want to choose how and when I die instead of just waiting to be executed like a fool. But the man doesn't realize House already figured out he took 90% methanol. House made him drink the alcohol to balance it out with an equivalent amount of ethanol. When the two combine, they cancel each other out. The emergency's over, but House doesn't send the man back to prison. He thinks this guy has something else going on. After all, how could a death row inmate try to kill himself unless there's more to the story? So he tells his team to run every test imaginable on him. But the hospital director disagrees. She thinks it's a waste of resources to keep testing a death row inmate. Then the man's stomach suddenly starts hurting really badly. The director still doesn't believe him and thinks he's just faking it. House lifts the blanket and sees the man has bled through an entire bed, so he rushes him into emergency surgery. The doctors remove part of his dead bowel, but House insists there's something else wrong with him. Dead intestines don't explain the drastic change in behavior. So House starts going through the man's past. He's killed 4 people. His wife because she cheated, a cellmate who bullied him, a guard who abused him, and the 4th person. No reason listed in his records. So House goes straight to the man's room to ask him. The man says, that guy kept staring at me when I was reading. The stare made him feel hot and sweaty. Then he snapped and ended up killing him. House nods, realizing what's really going on. The man has a pheochromocytoma, a rare tumor in the adrenal gland that can release crazy amounts of chemicals, which explains everything: the heart problems, the lung issues, and even the bowel necrosis.